What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we know this past weekend, this past Saturday, Gervonta Tank Davis, who's a major attraction, who is top two of the faces of the sport of boxing. Gervonta Tank Davis, he made a ring return after a 14-month layoff, okay? And Gervonta Tank Davis, he fought against Frank the Ghost Martin, okay? Frank Martin is a lightweight star title contender. He was undefeated. He was seen to be a challenge for Gervonta Tank Davis, seeing as though everybody wanted to see Gervonta Tank Davis face off against a slick, black, African-American, in his prime, athletic, with power fighter who was young and not a typical style that he always faces, right? And so with that said, he checked off that box with Frank the Ghost Martin. And in the first 5 rounds, Frank Martin won the first 5 rounds. But this is typical behavior and fashion from Gervonta Tank Davis. He does this. Now I've gotten to the point where I understand that this is essentially somewhat of a game plan of his. He wears you down mentally and physically, putting pressure on you, make you make mistakes, and then he capitalizes on it with his boxing ability, his accuracy, his power, and his ring IQ. And you in trouble. And he did the same thing again that he did to Leo Santa Cruz. He did to Mario Barrios. He did to Hector Garcia. He did to Rolando Rolly Romero. He did to Ryan Garcia. And he did it again in the 8th round with Frank the Ghost Martin. Typical behavior. But more importantly, everybody now, the sport of boxing is instant gratification. Before the fight is even over or takes place, everybody wants to know what's next, including myself. And so with that said, right, they had a segment because, again, Gervonta Tank Davis is a big deal in the sport of boxing. He's one, outside of himself, is only Canelo Alvarez as the biggest draws in the sport of boxing. Pay-per-view draws and attractions, right? Now, I don't think he's pound for pound the best fighter in the world. That's one Terrence Bud Crawford, who undoubtedly, in my opinion, is the best fighter in the world. But is he the attraction to the crossover and the casuals? No. So with that said, his segment for Tank Davis was on ESPN. It was on Fox, ESPN, and they was talking about what's next for Gervonta Tank Davis after he brutally knocked out Frank Martin in the 8th round. And everybody was talking about what's next for Gervonta Tank Davis, right? And Stephen A. Smith and First Take, they were giving their thoughts on it, and they were going around the table. And unanimously, it came up Shakur Stevenson, Olympic silver medalist, 3-division world champion, former unified super featherweight, now the reigning WBC lightweight champion, who is undefeated southpaw and has a pedigree, an amateur pedigree, which Frank Martin did not have. He don't have an amateur pedigree. He don't have the defense Shakur has. But nonetheless, Shakur came up as the next viable option. And they said they didn't want to see Devin Haney because he ain't got the power. And they don't want to see Ryan Garcia rematch unless it's at 140. But they wanted to see and push for a Ryan Garcia rematch. But only at 140. And then when it came to Shakur Stevenson, they stated, we don't know much about him. We haven't watched Shakur Stevenson. Excuse me? He's an ESPN fighter. He fights with legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO Bob Arum and ESPN. If anybody should be familiar with Shakur Stevenson, it should be ESPN. But nonetheless, they stated they haven't seen much and don't understand what Shakur Stevenson can really do because Stephen A. Smith goes on to rant that he hasn't watched Shakur Stevenson and he told Shakur Stevenson he don't watch him. But yet they want to see Shakur fight him. But they really want to see Ryan Garcia rematch at 140. And then they said, but they would be settling and wouldn't mind to see him fight Nomachenko. You heard me right. Nomachenko. They don't even know how to pronounce Vasyl Lomachenko's name. This is why the sport of boxing is a joke amongst other sports. Again, Lomachenko, Vasyl Lomachenko, two-time Olympic gold medalist, 3-division champion, former unified lightweight world champion. Vasyl Lomachenko is the reigning IBF lightweight champion. They can't even pronounce his name. And guess what? He fights with legendary promoter, Top Rank CEO, Bob Arum, ESPN, and Top Rank. More importantly, I just told you, ESPN. And they can't even pronounce his name. This is why boxing is a joke. Nonetheless, it looks like Gervonta Tank Davis is going to fight Vasyl Lomachenko in November. That will be huge. And I said Shakur should go after Dennis Baranchek for his WBO title in a unification bout. And then he fight Tank Davis next for undisputed. That should be the goal, as Tank Davis said he wants to be undisputed at 135. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. That's all I got for y'all. I'm gone. Peace.